Yo, what's up, people of YouTube? SoresanCrockxen here to bring you Legend of Korra, episode number 7 review. Let me tell you, this this episode was boss. I'm not even joking. Amon wasn't even in it too, which just made it that much sweeter. Um, a lot of things happened in this episode too. Like it was like conspiracy and drama and fights and just craziness. It was all crazy all around. So we start off this episode with they actually didn't do like a re re like connecting this episode to the last one. They actually introduced new stuff which wasn't in the last episode, and that was like Tarlok. Like I said, he's an ass. Like he's the biggest asshole in the series because he hates Chief Fei Fong now. Apparently, because she failed the mission of protecting the citizens. That is retarded. She has such a great record. One flaw, and she's suddenly like the worst chief. In the, like it made no sense, right? I think I actually like people were commenting in the other videos. I wouldn't be surprised if Tarlok is Amon at this point because he's trying to control everything, which is exactly what Amon wants. He said himself, "We need a new chief," which implying and he said it like implying himself as the new leader, which just would screw everybody over. So I'm actually gonna take that as a reasonable, as something that could be true. I could see Tarlok as Amon now, without that much doubt. So after this, we actually get into the episode, right? And then we find out, the whole place is being shut. The whole probe ending place is being shut down after the explosion, after everything that happened. That is being shut down. Mako and Bolin were offered to stay at Air Temple Island, but they said Asami had invited them first, so they're going to stay over there. And they invite Korra to a little, hangout the next day. Of course, she tried to make an excuse not to go, but she ended up saying okay because of Bolin. And now I see Bolin and Korra even more because the fact. Maybe, but I'm not gonna go into that right now. So the next day comes. They're over there. They're in a pool, but that's not the cool part. The cool part is the racetrack. Apparently, Future Industries has this track to test out their cars, and it's like a racetrack. You just like when you go around, like it's got turns, like it's to test the durability and speed and all that. So it actually works in the real world after the processing. And Korra and Nasami actually get in the same car and race this other dude, um, and then they end up winning, obviously. And then, when they go back to the house, Korra actually overhears Mr. Sato uh, talking on the phone, and he sounds evil, like no joke. Um, and then we also like the investigation is still going on about a Mon thing, and damn, what the fuck? Yeah, the Mon thing, because they find like somebody told them that there was gonna be this raid, and they found this truck full of like the gloves things, um, the T blocker gloves that shock you and paralyze you, whatever. Like it was like full of like a bunch of T blocker stuff, um, and apparently the truck belonged to this Cabbage Corporation. And if anybody even remembers the joke from before, or the previous series, when there was that one earthbender guy who would just be wandering around with this little cabbage cart and it would always get destroyed, and he would be like, "Oh no, my cabbages!" And they actually brought that joke back. I did not expect that. It was still an earthbender. It looked exactly like the same dude, just older, and it was his corporation. He's like, "No, my cabbage corporation!" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Old school jokes coming back into play. I love that. I actually love that running joke in the previous series because it was just random and it was funny. And that was a corporation, which made it even bigger. Um, I thought that was just funny. um, and then I think I skipped way too much. Yeah. I actually had some stuff around. Okay, let me talk about this. If you everybody remembers from the last episode and the previous episode, the leader of the Wolfbats, whose name I have not remembered, and I don't even care about remembering it. But he was apparently, all down and sad and stuff. Um, in the place where they're interviewing everybody that was at the scene, or any the main people that were at the scene of the crime. Um, and like he asked Korra to avenge him because she said she felt bad. Like I knew that they're not cool with each other, but that nobody should have their bending taken away. That's how excuse me. That's how she put it. When I thought it was cool, and he actually asked her to get revenge for him, and she actually accepts. And that's when this is the one we see Mr. Sato leave. See, I actually went way ahead when I was talking earlier. Mr. Sato actually leaves, saying he's all up for working with them. Um, And then actually they go interview the leader of the Wolfbats. And then they do the testing. And then so Korra actually goes back to the mansion. They're at the mansion. Um, so this is actually going back to where I was in. And Asami sends her to a restroom upstairs. And then when she gets out of the restroom, it's actually a powder room, I guess, like for makeup and stuff. So actually, when she gets out, she hears Mr. Sato talking on the phone, and he sounds very suspicious. Even I was like, "What the freak?" But he was like, "Oh, the Cabbage Corporation's down, so it's up for business now." It's good distraction, and we can get, we can charge in now. Um, gives them a head start, and I actually was like, "That's not cool, bro." Korra actually tells this to Tenzin and Bei Fong, and they think it's suspicious, so they actually go back to the house, and they go, and then Korra ends up spilling the beans to Asami and Mako, and they both get pissed at her, and then Asami charges in when Tenzin and Bei Fong are gonna do like the follow up questions, saying that it's not him, and then he actually comes up with this big old lie. Like no joke, it was like the biggest lie in the world. Like he's like, "Oh no, they're competition, and now we can bring out a new car." Like what the freak was cabbages have to do with cars? Like I didn't see a connection. It was like the biggest lie that you could just randomly come up with right then and there. I mean, he was like, "Oh, it's all business." And it would make sense to any other person who doesn't think as much as who doesn't think it's reasonable. Uh, I even saw the lie in his face. I was like, "You're lying, dude. You're such a freaking liar." And I hated that because it was like a stupid lie that made sense. Because he's a businessman, so the lie made sense, but it was still a freaking lie. So you could tell it was a lie because it was made in the moment. Because he did that whole well that was, which implies the lie is coming in because he's trying to think it while he says that. If he didn't, it wasn't a lie, then he would have just straight up said it. That's not true. This is what's going on. He wouldn't have dragged it up. I'm just saying. Um, so like we actually get told that they're not benders. Like Tenzin and Bei Fong tell Korra that they're not benders. Firebenders raided their house and they killed his wife, Sato's wife, um, and stuff like that. So he probably feels like this grudge against them. Um, and then this guy, like they actually go get an order to check the factory. They couldn't find anything. But this old man just hands Korra this piece of paper that's saying to meet him and under a bridge, and they find out that he has a secret underground factory under his freaking mansion. I mean, what the? That's like some secret shit right there. That's badass. Like I actually thought that was pretty cool. You were able to hide something so big under your house, and nobody know about it except for people who work there, obviously. Um, which I thought that was a pretty cool thing to do, but I still hated him for it. Um, and then they actually end up going there. They raid the house. Well, not raid it, but they go in and they're like, there's a secret factory in there. And Asami obviously tries to defend her father, saying that no, he's at his workshop that's behind the house. And the biggest, coolest thing in that I thought was cool, bringing it back from the previous series, as of now, Bei Fong is just like her mom. You remember if everyone remembers, Toph was blind, so she saw through her feet. She sensed the ground to be able to see everything around her. Bei Fong can do that too. Like her shoes open up to where her feet touch the ground, and she can even sense through metal, just like Toph, which was pretty freaking badass, if you ask me. Like, she sensed there was tunnels and everything, and they metal bended that shit and opened it up, and they ended up going down there. Um, which was freaking cool. I loved. That came to me as a shock. I was not expecting Bei Fong to be able to do that, and I praise her for it. I didn't like her in the beginning, but I like her even more now because she reminds me of her mom. And I like that. So, and they go down there, and these things that look like Big Daddies from Bioshock. If you get the reference, you're cool. But seriously, like there was like these big armor things, and they literally look like Big Daddies, which is weird. Um, and there's suits, right? And then like the whole place closes down. Um, and of course upstairs, Mako, Bolden, and Asami had to stay above ground, but they actually sneaked back in after this, and they were trapped in by Mr. Sato because he wanted to test out these new weapons, and it was like pretty. Like, I liked it because the fight involved the police metal benders, uh, Beifong, Tenzin even fought, which was freaking cool, and then Korra. The Metal Benders, I gotta say, they were badass. I mean, they didn't do anything in the end, but while they were doing their shit, that was pretty cool. I mean, they were doing flips and metal bending like a boss, and just making all these things. Like, I was like, damn, Metal Benders are cool. I mean, I wish they would be like better. Like, they made it to where they did something in the end, but it was still pretty cool. Like, Beifong was pretty cool too. Like, but they got taken out, and then Tenzin was just a boss. He was airbending like a boss. Like, this is like a Tenzin for the win. Like, I did MVP for Tenzin. Because he was like riding the air and like sliding through the ground. Like, he wasn't doing like a sphere like Aang did. He was just doing like a surfboard kind of thing, and the air was above it. It was like, I mean, he was just cool. Of course, Korra was firebending because that's all she knows how to freaking do. And it was cool. Like, his airbending was awesome. I hope that when they introduced Aang, like reintroduce Aang to the series, that we could see some, because we've seen Aang doing something and we haven't seen him really fight anybody. So like, because I want to know what those flashbacks are. So we'll get. I hope they help us. They expand on that. And obviously Mako and Bolin end up showing up because they all get taken out because these things are like literally they're huge Big Dad. They look like Big Daddies that shock the fuck out of you. Um, and so they all got taken out, and then Bolin and Mako actually show up, and they end up rescuing Core. Like, they grab. Wait, who was it? Bolin grabbed Tenzin, and Mako grabbed Korra, and they were both gonna get Bei Fong, and then Sato's like, "Whoa, whoa, what are you doing?" And of course, he got out of the suit and everything, and they threw all the metal benders in cars, take him to Amon, and it was like freaking weird. And then like he was gonna shock them both with the glove, and then Asami showed up, and he's like, "No, don't do it." And then she takes, like, he's like, "I didn't want to drag you into this yet," and then she ends up taking, like, he gives her a glove, she takes it, and I was like, "You're, oh my gosh!" Like, I thought this was gonna be like, I mean, she still did it, but I was not expecting her to do it that way. She just grabs it and is like, "I love you, Dad," and that just shocks her. I was like, "Whoa, damn, girl." Beast right there. Like, it was crazy. Like, I was expecting like a whole him turning around and just be like backstabbing him, but she just like straight up, "I love you, Dad," just shocks him, and then she takes out one of the guards, and they end up leaving. So they were able to escape, and they're on the blimp, and then freaking Bei Fong says she's gonna hand in her resignation because she's gonna do some major shit that's gonna go against the law, and she doesn't want to be an officer breaking the law. Because she said to herself, like, and Tenzin tried to stop her. He's like, "No, I'm gonna go back, rescue my men, and I'm gonna take that Amon, but my way. That doesn't involve the law." And I was like, she's gonna kill him in the most awful way possible. Beifong, you're cool right now. Like, she keeps, like, she made her, she was likable to me in this episode. And then they end up having, they're able to stay at Air Temple Island. Like, That was an offer. The offer that they got in the beginning is now good, and Asami can stay with them too, which is cool. And that was the end of the episode. And I gotta say, this episode was cool. I loved it. It was awesome. Tenzin, I hope you get some more fighting scenes and you actually can do shit without being surrounded. Because I bet if he was in a one-on-one match, I think he could. Oh gosh, excuse me. I think he could own anybody. I'm just saying. But anyways, so I guess that was the episode. Thumbs up for Tenzin. It's airbending coolness for us. Freaking Bei Fong's just a beast in this episode, and she brings back Toph. And if you're like me, Toph was one of your favorite characters in the previous series. Like she was just a likable character, and having her at her what made her special go through what her daughter is now. So thumbs up for that too, if you want. And then I can't wait for the next episode. I really can't. So this has been SoresanCrockxen with a Legend of Korra review. Thanks for watching. Comments about this episode in the comment section below. Video responses are welcome as well. Do as many as you want. I'll watch every single one of them. I'm not even joking. And I'll catch you guys next week. Keep mastering whatever element is your favorite, and I'll catch you guys next time. Later.